you guys will be able to see tonight. So thank you guys for tuning in. If you're watching live, please remember that we want you to chat with us. We actually got a new feature where you're able to interact with us. You can see JT moving things around on the screen right now. So we're going to see you to be able to hear exactly what you're saying, and we'll be able to comment back with you. So make sure you come in, say hello, say roll tide, so go Cowboys, say whatever your team is, or ask us any questions when you can do that. If you're listening to us on your podcast later on, we do appreciate you. Just make sure you give us some likes, comment, subscribe, all those things. Tell everybody about the show. Now, before I bring in JT, I want to talk about something because there's some topics that are really hot out there, right? The alliance with the Big 12, Pac-12, Big 10, Pac-12, ACC. Those announcements, we've got to hit on that. We got a few other topics might be interesting since the NCAA is talking about signing class expansions. I got some really good topics, but I want to go ahead and hit on this alliance thing. And I know we don't know enough about it. They kind of teased us with this talk about expansion, so I'm reading a little bit, trying to figure out what's going on. I think they dropped it on some TV show that you couldn't even really hear what they were saying, right? 40 schools come to an alliance about boys and girls basketball and football and what that actually looks like. But here's what I want to say about it, because we don't know enough about it. We probably can't judge everything. But here's my initial take on this. I think they're scared. I think this is all a big ruse. What the SEC did, pulling in Texas and OU, making a big money play for TV deals and things of that nature. I think it has scared those other conferences to death because they were going to have to figure out ways to try to stay in competition with the SEC. And so they're saying things like, this is not a money play. This is not about that. Well, what is it really about then that you want to be able to do that if you got teams way out west, way far east, middle of the country, you're skipping over the Big 12? What could this really be about other than fear? Fear of maybe losing some teams, fear of Notre Dame coming in and trying to get people to join in with them. I don't know, but it's a little bit shady to me because that's too big of an alliance. What, we're not going to recruit your kids, we're not going to mess with your transfers. What is this really about if it's not about money? If it's just dealing with scheduling, there ain't no scheduling. You don't need 40 schools to deal with schedules. So I think it's a bunch of malarkey. I think they're just scared because they've made some plays, and there's probably some other backroom deals going on, whether the SEC is talking to someone else or people from the Big 12 were trying to do something. So I think all these groups got together and said, hey, let's figure out how to preserve this. So I don't know. I'm kind of interested to see where you guys think I might have went wrong on this. Let's bring JT in. I know he's at least tried to find a little bit of something on it. But JT, am I wrong about this? Am I totally off base?
No, I think that, you have, as we had saw in the article, right, where those conferences are afraid of not being able to drive the sport in their best interest. Now, and I read a lot of things on what people had to say, beat writers, people who cover the SEC and things like that. And, a lot of people are trying to make the SEC out to be the villain. And I don't know that they're the villain in this scenario, but they're definitely not the hero. I think that the way it went down is really what the problem is here. Unless there's proof that the other conferences were just about to raid the Big 12. But I think there is a little bit of, we already know there's always hatred around the country for the SEC anyway. but I think they're trying to figure out a way that they can stick together so that it's not like there's some kind of the group of four where it's like the SEC, the other four conferences, and then everybody else. They're trying to make sure that they don't become the everybody else portion of this. So I think, there's already been talk about how playoff expansion may end up being halted now. That might not happen because they're thinking, well, what are we going to have just 6 SEC teams in there now versus the 1 or 3 teams that get in? But I'm really interested to see what they're going to do with the scheduling, right? I know the Pac-12 and the Big Ten really don't care about the scheduling, but I wonder about the ACC because you have Clemson, South Carolina every year. You got Florida State every year. You got Florida, Miami.
Yeah, they can't. It doesn't make sense. I mean, there's no cross-country rivalries like that. You still got everything within your conference. So I don't really understand it. But they ain't told us anything either. So, and I do want to go ahead and apologize for you that are watching because I keep looking at my phone over here because I'm actually in the middle of a fantasy football draft as well. So I'm trying to manage both of these at the same time while we're doing this podcast. But man, I don't know. I think you've nailed it. I think we've kind of put it both in perspective for everybody. But it's just you can't destroy rivalries, right? You can't take away the certain games. 40 teams, man. Or is it 41? I think I was reading something with 41, but I couldn't find the one. There was 41 chancellors that agreed, but I can only think of
who knows
14, 14, and 12. So I didn't know if they snuck Notre Dame in the conversation since they played in the ACC.
The Notre Dame has said they ain't got nothing to do with this. I think it all comes down to TV contracts, right? They're looking at the matchups because really the SEC could end up dominating TV ratings every weekend, right? If you're gonna have Texas, Oklahoma / Texas versus Florida, Georgia, LSU, Alabama, Auburn. Mm-hmm. If Mississippi State ends up getting good because Mike Leach is there, Ole Miss with Lane Kiffin, so you got all these personalities, and at Texas A&M, like you got that. You've basically got what everybody misses, right, in the Southwest Conference is basically back.
Didn't Mike Leach, was he the one that had the kid hemmed up in the closet for concussion?
Yes, in Texas Tech. Yes.
How did he make his way back? How did he make his way back up to the top to an SEC school after something like that? Anyway, it's not that important. It just kind of hit me right then. Okay, so then talk to me about this. How does Notre Dame really play into this now, or any independent school? And I don't know how many independent schools there are, but does this put them on the outside if you have an alliance with that many schools? You got the SEC, growing. What does that do for Notre Dame and trying to fill their schedule if people are making alliances and they're sitting on the outside, potentially with, I don't know, can you say no one to play, or they're going to be paying people to play them, or what?
Well, I think most of the independent schools have problems anyway because your independent schools already have problems, minus Notre Dame. Notre Dame has an agreement with the ACC, but your other independents are Army, I think Navy's an independent now, and like BYU. And we already know BYU had problems playing people. That's why they drove. They were on their way to one game, remember? And the game ended up being canceled, so they just kept the driving until they got to Carolina, and they played the game on a Thursday on like no time notice, and it was a real big thing. We have Gary Biscup saying that he thinks it was Craig James's kid that got locked in there. He's talking about Mike Leach.
Oh, yes, that's right. And what's up, Gary? I want to say hello to you too. So I'm actually going to be playing in their fantasy football league this year. I can't remember when our draft is, but it's coming up here pretty soon. They're talking a lot of trash. So I'm getting plenty of warm up ready for you. But you know, I want to tell you something about Gary real fast, JT, and why we probably need to get to know this guy. He just bought 300 pounds of Wagyu steaks.
So that's just like it's not. It's less than a full cow's weight, but basically a full cow worth of steaks, right?
Yes, that's a brother that likes to grill. But yeah, so Leach, to deal with Leach, man, that's I don't know. Some things you can't, especially the way our world is today, as we keep talking about. Seems like all the time. It's hard for me to believe that people make it back from stuff like that. But you know, I guess when you're trying to win games, you're trying to get the best coaches, and sometimes people overlook some things, right? So, all right. Well, I'm looking forward to hearing more about what this alliance really is. Did they give some kind of time frame or when they're going to give us more information? Dang it! Someone just took Redskins
football team.
Dang it, football team. So I'm going to take the Bills. What you think about that defense?
Yeah, the Bills are fine, I guess.
Or the 49ers?
Nah, I would go with the Bills before the 49ers.
Boom. You hear that? That's on ESPN. Okay, so I got one more pick. I'm sorry. I got a minute and a half to make my next pick here. So I tell you who I got. I got Josh Allen, Gibson, Henderson, my two running backs, Allen Robinson, T. Higgins, Noah Fant. Picked up Davis, the wide receiver from the Jets.
Corey Davis?
Yes. What do you think about that? That was a good sleeper.
I mean, I suppose if you think that what's his name, Zach Wilson is gonna be.
They look good in the. So I need to be paying attention to what I'm doing here. So I'm thinking of taking Gage
from the Falcons.
Yes, all we have is Calvin Ridley, and they got Kyle Pitts. So,
I mean, I guess sure, but I feel like there's got to be
T.Y. Hilton, Campbell, Moore, Crowder. AJ Green, Randall Cobb.
Hey, Randall Cobb's back in Green Bay.
So ain't he like 40?
I mean, he's got a friend up there in Green Bay now. He's back with his old quarterback.
Oh, you know what I should have did? I messed it up.
And Craig says that make sure you draft Mac Jones if possible.
Yeah, I got to see what. So I had
my Facebook comments are not showing up on the screen. Because Facebook, I guess I gave it the wrong.
Yeah, Mac Jones is long gone, and that's what I should have done.
He also is a big believer in Hilton, which I mean I don't know who else their receivers are. So like if you're gonna why not?
Yeah, but what about the quarterback play? Who gonna throw in the ball?
Well, according to the Colts, it's going to be Carson Wentz since he's back there practicing.
He's back. I thought he was out for some time. He got hurt
last week. He's doing non-contact stuff. He's out there on the field throwing some balls around. I don't know if he's throwing it to. I don't think he's actually practicing, but he's apparently way ahead of schedule.
Okay, so then do this for me since you're talking about quarterbacks a little bit here, and Mac Jones. What about these rookie quarterbacks? How do you think they've looked over the preseason? I think they've kind of.
So, I haven't seen Zach Wilson, but I've seen Trey Lance, I've seen Justin Fields, and I've seen Mac Jones.
Hold on, while you do that, go ahead and pull up Zach Wilson's stats of the last preseason game. They were pretty good. So while you're doing that, Trey Lance, I ain't watch him. I did watch Fields. I didn't see Mac Jones, but apparently he lit it up too, right? Who else is there? Trevor Lawrence. It's just hard for me to watch anything out of.
Well, they come on at just random times, and they're just like there's no block where it's like, all right, I'm just gonna sit down and watch. On Sundays where it's like, all right, game started at noon, and I'm gonna be here in front of the TV. I didn't even know the Cowboys were playing their last game against. I don't even remember now. Whoever they
the game that me
Texans.
and your mom went to, the Texans.
Yeah, I didn't even know that game was happening. We just happened to be watching TV, and I gave Emily the remote, and the show was over, and she was scrolling through the guide, and she was like, "Did you know the Cowboys are playing right now?" And I was like, "No, I had no idea."
You thought it was a replay because it's Saturday. It was so weird being in the games on Saturdays.
And it was
on Saturdays.
I tuned in and like 6 minutes left in the third quarter, and I was like, but this has been happening. Like any game has always.
Well, preseason is boring to me. So so go ahead and tell me about these rookie quarterbacks. What you're thinking? Did you find the stats on him?
I am desperately trying.
I don't remember who they played. I'll try. Well, I can't.
Well, it looks like they played. This is not true. The Giants, August 14th. Does that sound right? That was 10 days ago. Do they have another one? On the 21st.
2 days ago. Yeah, 21st.
Where are the Jets? They played the Packers.
Yes, there you go. See if you can pull up the thing. And while you're doing that, I think Justin Fields is making a strong case of why he should at least have a chance. Mm-hmm. They're not going to give him the nod week one, right? Since I think he's already said.
No, I think they already said that that Andy Dalton's going to be the starter, which I'm just kind of like, why though?
They're trying to eliminate any controversy going into this thing, right? But he looked pretty good, man. Yeah. Now I think was that me and you talking about it? They was playing against backups.
Yeah, but it's so far. I understand it's backups, but the three quarterbacks that I've seen in Trey Lance, Justin Fields, and Mac Jones, they do not look. They don't look like rookies. They look like they've been here and been doing it. I saw Mac Jones step up into the pocket, avoid a defender, and like throw a ball on the line. I've seen Trey Lance throw an 84-yard bomb, just as poised as can be. Justin Fields is scrambling and running for touchdowns into the corner of the end zone, and to me, this class so far is just look like they kind of look like they've already been here.
Yeah, I would agree with that, and I don't know. I try not to put too much in the preseason games. There's no game planning. No defense is trying to scheme you. They're playing vanilla defenses. It's cover 3. It's cover 2.
So I'll ask you this though. Ben DiNucci looks like a rookie.
Yeah, he looks. Does he look like a rookie?
I mean, it's his second year. It's his first preseason. Oh, I guess it's not his first preseason, but it's his first like camp. This is the first time he's really had to go through the whole process. And I feel like those other quarterbacks should be closer to looking like that. A couple bad interceptions here or there. I don't mean to sound like DiNucci is throwing a couple of bad interceptions, because he threw 3 bad interceptions just in the previous game. But I don't know that I've seen any of the other quarterbacks actually even throw any interceptions, except for maybe Trevor Lawrence. But Trevor Lawrence's offensive line is awful.
Well, the DiNucci stuff, do you think that's really because of what you said originally, that with the COVID a year ago, there really wasn't – everything was – virtual. They didn't have OTAs and all this kind of stuff. So you really didn't have any developmental stage at all. These guys at least got the opportunity to come in for a rookie camp and then for the, mandatory camps, and that they had an opportunity to get ahead with this guy. I don't know. Maybe it should have happened over the course of the season. But
that's
they're not really.
I'm thinking he played against the Steelers.
Yeah, but you got Cooper Rush and – I don't know. I think he doesn't make the team though, right? I know we keep getting off the. He's not one of the 3.
Who's the other guy? I feel like they only got 3 quarterbacks.
What's his name? You make me miss my picture. Wilson. What's the guy's last name? Dak's backup.
know. If somebody in the comments knows, just, Craig says that Rodgers and Brady will have a bad first half of the season. I don't know if I'm buying that one.
Rodgers and Brady?
Yeah.
Tom Brady and Aaron Rodgers? Well, I can't say. I don't know why he would say that. I haven't looked at their schedules yet, but Rodgers is going to be on a mission. He's going to throw the ball I don't know how many times to Devontae Adams and his tight end. I think he's going to throw the tight end a little bit more this year.
QBs. Garrett Gilbert.
Gilbert's.
You're right. Yeah, DiNucci might not make it. And I don't know. DiNucci he keeps doing the same thing that I saw him doing in the national championship game against North Dakota State. They're doing fine. They're moving down the field. There's 17 seconds left. They need a touchdown to win the game. They're on the 4-yard line, and he throws a pick in the corner of the end zone, just like right out the dude. 2 years in a row.
Yeah, but someone will pick him up, probably. If they had their eye on him too. Whoops. Someone taking my player still. Okay, well, the rookie QBs, who gets on the field first between Fields and Lance?
It'll probably be Lance. I think Lance might just straight up beat out Garoppolo.
Think so.
I think they are torn right now on who they're actually going to start, and I think if push comes to shove, Trey Lance might end up just winning it. Where I think Justin Fields is probably better than Andy Dalton anyway, and they're just going to give Dalton the start just because they already told him they would, and they haven't told Jimmy G that they hadn't promised Jimmy G anything.
You think Lance is ready to play? And I hadn't watched him. I don't know what he's done, so I can't really speak on to what he did. But anyway, so another quarterback. Since we talked about some of the Dallas quarterbacks, or what about Dak not playing? I'll go ahead and give you my take. I think people are making too much out of this about whether Dak should play or not. I don't think he needs to play this preseason at all. What for? Couple things, risk of injury, yeah, you got that. But does he need to try to work out the dust and all that kind of stuff? I don't think so. I think he's proven what he can do. A lot of quarterbacks aren't going to play at all, and I think he fits in that category. I think he'll be able to get out there. People worried because it's Tampa Bay up first and that type of thing. I don't think that he really needs to go out there to get the feel or feel comfortable because of injury. I'm seeing the way he's running and the way he's working out that he's not even thinking about that leg anymore. What say you, JT?
I was worried for him just because, I don't know. I've had my share of injuries, but none like that. So I feel like I'd be a little timid and just would want to get out there. I mean, even if it's just for a series, just so I can say, all right, I got out there. I ran around. There were people around me that were actually trying to hit me, and I'm fine. And that would have been enough for me. So I think, maybe he is over it. I have no idea. But I would be worried about the mental. I just need to get out there and do it just one time, just to say that I did it, and then I'll be good to go.
I think he wants to prove it to everybody that he's really ready to go, and I think that's more on us putting more pressure on him to say, give us a little bit of something. We want to see the Dak you just signed for, $200 million or whatever. So give us a taste of what it's going to look like. But man, I don't know. I just think. Especially, how many plays have the starters actually played? 10, 12 this last game, and that was it?
Well, and that's what I'm saying. I feel like that. If I were in Dak's position, that's all I would need. Is just one drive. Even if it was, maybe two. If you
three and out?
Nah, not a 3 and out. But something where it's all right, I had to move a little bit. I had to avoid a sack. Somebody was about to fall on my legs. And it's not a quick whistle kind of deal.
Well, if you play him, then you got to play Zeke. I don't know if he's going to play.
I think Zeke needs to play. I need him to show me he knows how to hold on to the football.
You don't want to see him fumble anymore? They don't want to show that he still might fumble. I think that would be bad if he fumbled it, he's so much in much better shape that I don't think, they want to give the Buccaneers too much ammunition either. We never talk about that part. And, yeah, you can look at scheme, but
you don't have to play Zeke. You got Tony Pollard. He's a starting caliber running back.
He's pretty good. And I picked him up in my fantasy football league, and it's about to be my pick in one more. If Kirk Cousins is there, I'm going to take him.
Oh, my God.
It's Daniel Jones, Kirk Cousins. This is my backup. Derek Carr, Zach Wilson. Nobody picking Jared Goff. What do you think about that? And Carson Wentz. I don't know. I'm not even going to waste time on this pick. I'm going to go ahead and take Kirk.
I would have picked Derek Carr.
Derek Carr?
Yeah.
Why? Who he throwing the ball to? The tight end.
Ruggs.
I know, but Jefferson. I got 59 seconds. Jefferson, Thielen, Irv Smith, Cook. They all catch the ball.
Has Kirk even been eligible to even play? Is he even going to be eligible to practice?
He might catch COVID, though. He's not going to get vaccinated. Carr, who'd you say? Ruggs? Waller?
Yeah. I had Waller. Man, Waller was racking me up some points last year.
All right, Cousins had 325, and Carr had 323. No, I might listen to you on this one. Take Carr. Let me see what my...
Yeah, so let me see. They got Henry Ruggs, John Brown, Keelan Doss, Brian Edwards, Zay Jones, Hunter Renfrow, Willie Snead, Darren Waller.
Too late. I already picked him. You talked me out of Cousins. Now I need to get a kicker real quick. Let me get my kicker.
Oh, that literally anybody. Well, except for Cody Parkey, maybe. Don't pick him.
I think everybody already picked kickers. We're only got one more pick after this.
The kickers literally don't matter.
They do. Gano, McManus, Sanders. Ooh, the kicker from Atlanta's still here.
Young Hoku?
Yeah. They got to have him, right?
Craig wants to know who your defense is. I think you said
the Bills.
Yeah, the Bills.
Took the Bills. They're going to be legit. I don't know if you saw them any. Did you see Trubisky play against?
I did not see him play. I saw his interview and his quote about him really enjoying being with the Bills.
What was his quote?
Well, he originally said, like, when he left the Bears, that he wanted to go somewhere to compete, like, for a starting job. And then he was basically just saying that he was at peace with being the backup in Buffalo, and that he really enjoyed the culture of the Bills and how they're running their organization, and that he's taken it upon himself to really kind of just learn how that works rather than just trying to go and start somewhere. He wants to grow as a quarterback in a organization that he feels wants him to be there, and not just looking for somebody to replace him.
Well, he needs to be there because they're going to throw the ball 75% of the time. But he don't need to be there because Josh Allen ain't coming on the field. So, whatever on that. All right. We had I think we can call them friends of the family a little bit, maybe, right?
Well, I don't know who you're talking about yet. So,
I know his dad. You know his son. The Adams family. So Jamal Adams signs a record high, being paid the most as a safety. I think it's outstanding. I didn't know if it was going to happen or not. Do you think? Now I know you can't because he's a buddy of yours, how much you can really speak on this, but is he the number one safety in the league today?
Considering that Wesley and I talked about this because Wesley texted me like as soon as it happened. No, he's not. There are, I think there are other. The way I explained it was, just because you're the highest paid in any position does not mean that you are the best at that moment. What that means, you are the best available because your contract is out. Which is why, like, at no point in the league did I ever think that Kirk Cousins was the best quarterback. Never.
Right.
And at some point, he was the highest paid. I think there was a time that Jamal could have claimed he was the best safety in the league. I don't know that to be true today.
Well, I think I agree with what you're saying. I think there are some good safeties in there. Is he the best? I think he's dynamic because what he does around the ball, being able to blitz, being able to cover, very physical, very full of energy, flying around a lot, causing turnovers. I think that did help. I think the big trade that they're kind of forced into having to give him the money, right, as well. So I think he was in a good leverage position to be able to get that kind of deal. So I'm happy for him.
Guess they had their eye on him too.
And I think they made a good choice of securing him up because it was a good deal because he's definitely a difference maker.
Oh yeah, I mean the difference that he makes. I mean, you could even just see it, like when.
They had their eye on him too.
Sorry, people keep taking my people.
when he was off the field for the Seahawks, they were a completely different defense. And I think I saw a stat, and I can't remember what exactly it was, but I think it was something like how many tackles for loss they had on third down when he was on the field versus when he was not on the field. And it was basically like when he was on the field on third down, if you were going to run the ball, offensive average yards was like -3. And when he was off the field, it was some positive number. And you're like, well, clearly, you need him.
Do you think analytics is hurting teams at the same time when you think about that? Because now agents, people, whatever, they see these things, and that's easy negotiating stuff. Where a few years ago, before all this happened, someone might have known it, but not to this depth, I think. Is that something that, now the teams are looking at going, this is good for us to be able to work, to know when to make calls and all this kind of stuff, but it's hurting us because players can really start to utilize this for negotiating tactics.
My original thought is no. And the reason I think no is because I think all the power it holds is with the people who are paying the money anyway. Because at the end of the day, the person who's writing the check could literally just be like, look, I don't care about your analytics. I really don't. I like this guy better than you. Sorry.
Yeah, that's true. And we mentioned it last week a little bit. The way that they do the analytics while I was up there with the Vikings is when I actually got to see the way that they chart everything, whether it's in practices, the input is just, it's amazing what people are doing. Okay, so I don't want to spend a whole lot of time talking about this. I think we're going to have a very special show because I know people are going to be asking about it sooner or later about Miami-Alabama game coming up pretty soon, right? So I got to give a little bit of tease. I have been talking to Lamar Thomas a little bit, JT. I haven't even mentioned this to you, when we might do a joint show, or I'm saying joint show, have him come on that Tuesday. before the game, talk a little bit. And the next day I might go on to his. He's launching his own podcast that Wednesday, actually. So we're thinking about doing some things. Y'all need to make sure you stay tuned. Make sure you follow me on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. That's at Teague Football. And because we might have some things that we're going to sell. We give away some joint stuff. A lot of people always want to know if there's going to be something that me and LT can do together, having signatures on a couple things. We might do a limited edition, something to be able to put out.
Well, whatever it is, I want one.
To everyone. Well, you might have to open up your wallet a little bit. I think your safe is right over here behind us. So,
well, maybe you'll have to find a new producer.
Oh, there's some things down there I gave you that are pretty valuable too.
Yeah, but you don't pay employees one time, and I get paid every 2 weeks.
Oh, that's kind of like, what do you call it? Aren't you in one of them little? You get shares in the company. You get paid once a year. You don't get, over and over and over and over.
Why not?
You get the bonus check at the end of
Dividends come at every financial call or whatever. Anyway.
That's right. That's right. So make sure you guys pay attention to that. So just real quick, I don't even want to talk about it. You got an early prediction on that game, the score.
The score?
Mm-hmm.
No, I don't have an early prediction on the score. I mean, I say Bama by 20 plus.
Is it going to be as close?
What's the spread? Do you know what the spread is right now?
No, I don't. But should Miami be embarrassed because Cincinnati is ranked higher than them in the preseason AP poll?
No, they shouldn't. Cincinnati's a good football team, or at least they were. The spread right now is 18.5, so I'm taking the over.
So why is Vegas normally that far off?
No.
Or does something change in 2 weeks for them to go?
No, I want to do some research on this because this is fascinating to me. How Vegas, I don't know how Vegas comes up with their lines.
How are they always right?
I don't know how they set their lines from the beginning. I know how the lines move in the sense of like if a whole bunch of people start betting on Bama at 18.5, like the line's going to go up because apparently everybody thinks that that's a good deal. So they keep moving the line up until the money starts getting back even and vice versa. But it really amazes me how they can have a line that's usually so close, and you're just right. You're always, it's very rare. And you can really tell how big an upset is, right? When the line is that far wrong.
Yes. I don't know. What do you do? So this statistical something? Is this more analytic? Are they running some kind of program and playing the game over and over and over and over again? And
well, that's what I want to know. I assume that's what they do. Craig says 35-7, by the way. So he's got a 28-point spread, which I think is close. I think they give up more than 7 points. But
you think you're going to rout them that bad? 4 touchdowns. That might be the end of the Hurricane. I said we weren't going to talk about Bama this long, but oh man, what's the quarterback name the Hurricanes have? They're all leaning on this guy. That he's the savior. Anyway, y'all tune into that. Let's not get into that too much. Let's talk about a little bit of college football, though, and the talks about signing class expansion. Is this so? If you hadn't really heard about this, or even though we're talking about, with the amount of people that are transferring, all the things we as coaches complain about a lot, with guys, looking for other opportunities. They change the rules where you get one free pass and all this kind of stuff. A lot of teams aren't being able to fill their roster fully. You get the 25 scholarships, but if the guys you picked are leaving, now you're not at your, is it 85? You're not at your 85 max for scholarships, and you're trying to fill this back in. NCAA is looking at a way to, is it called reward, a team with extra scholarships if people are transferring from your team.
I wouldn't use the word reward because that makes it sound like you're trying to get people out so that you can get new people in. Well, I think it's more akin to like compensatory picks in the NFL. You lost a free agent, so you get an extra draft pick in like the middle of the third round.
Yeah, but these are people that left on their own, meaning you're going to be rewarded because someone didn't like you. And I don't know how you judge on what's legitimate. Didn't it have some verbiage in there on something of, if the transfer is,
let's see,
not legitimate is not the word, but they just didn't quit. They're, terrible, and they want to go put themselves in the transfer portal because that could happen. Does it make a difference if they're like a starter or, someone you're anticipating to be a starter, and then they put themselves in the portal because they don't want to wait an extra year? So I thought there was some kind of deal that said something about that because I think we were reading that, hey, if a team has 5 transfers, you potentially, and this is all hypothetical at the time, or is it considered a proposal?
Yeah, it's a proposal right now. I'm trying to find okay. The extra spots would be based on the number of players who entered the transfer portal under their own volition and would be capped at a figure such as 7.
No, it just says under their own volition.
Yeah, so I think there's basically just saying like if you want to leave for any reason, fine, but
and you're just going to give them another scholarship.
It can't be that you got kicked off the team or you've been suspended and decided to transfer out. But I don't think there's anything wrong with that because the other thing, the thing that they're trying to, so I guess the first thing on the whole topic is what exactly are you trying to solve? And then we could debate on whether or not this solves the actual problem. If the problem that you're trying to solve is you had you could sign 25 kids, which was originally designed to sign 25 high school graduates to come into the program. Now you're signing transfers, and you might sign 10 transfers. What you've actually done is under its current rules, you've actually just lost 20 scholarships, like on both sides, because you're still on the hook for the 10 that the person came from, and you've just taken up 10 from the school that you're going to. So now there's 20 high school kids that, like, your pool of how many scholarships just sank by 20 because 10 people decided to transfer.
Okay.
So that's why one of the proposals was...
It's to help high school kids, is that they'll be able to help the teams.
Yeah. Well, that's why they had the alternate proposal where they were saying you can sign transfers, but you actually only get 7 extra transfers. But the 25 scholarships that you originally had, you have to use 25 scholarships on high school players, and then you can bring in 7 extra transfers if you want to.
Yeah, because I wonder if that's gonna get into like JUCO.
Well, that's exactly what they were saying, was that the based on like how the scheduling works. They were saying basically, like the signing period for the high school kids are actually last. The high school kids are the last ones to sign. The JUCO players get to go first. People who are transferring, they can move, in between semesters even. And then the last guys on the table are the guys that are actually coming out of high school in. And they're like, we got to do something about this. And it seems like their quick fix was just like, if a guy leaves, you're no longer paying for their schooling anyway. So why not use that money? Like, it shouldn't be dead money, I guess, as the NFL would call it.
As we're talking about this and thinking about this, it's so crazy to me that college football has changed drastically, and it's still going to continue to change. We're paying people, guys making $1 million, giving more scholarships potentially, super conferences, alliances, shaking hand with deals, and all this kind of stuff. The landscape of this is, man, it's crazy. And I wonder what kind of impact that's going to have in both directions. High school football, but also in the National Football League, because it's a different animal. It's a big-time different animal. So, I don't know. Am I for this or not? If you're asking me, am I thumbs up, thumbs down? I think there's some positives to it for schools. But I don't know if it stops or creates the problem of people moving around too much. I think it's still just going to.
I don't think it's even designed to keep people from moving around too much. I don't think that's the problem they're trying to address.
It's just to try to help the team.
Yeah, I think it's twofold: to help the smaller schools that keep losing kids to the bigger schools, and they're like, well, we don't even have, we're allowed to have 85 people on scholarship, and now we've got 60 because Johnny, best wide receiver, decided that he didn't want to play for us no more, and that he could go play for Ohio State or Alabama or whatnot. And now we're just out 20 scholarships, and we can't bring in kids to replace them because he took a scholarship from us and School B. And they're saying, hey, well, we can also, if we just give them the scholarship back, then they can also bring in another high school kid in the following class.
Well, I don't know. Well, we'll see how it turns out. I think we just have to continue to watch this stuff. A lot of interesting things that we've been talking about, y'all. Right, the Alliance, expanding rookie quarterbacks, Jamal Adams, Dak. I mean, there's just so much going on out there. So since I've been talking about fantasy football, I guess we have about another 10 minutes or so, something like that, to be able to talk. And I've been dealing with this. I actually have one more pick left. It gets late down there in the end where everybody starts getting on auto pick right. But
yeah, that last pick don't matter.
It can make the difference in your team, man.
It's not going to make the difference.
Way down here.
I'm going to ask you 3 weeks from now if that last pick is even still on your roster.
Sammy Watkins.
You're not keeping Sammy Watkins.
Jared Cook, or what's his name? The Cook that used to be at the Saints.
That's Jared Cook.
He's still out there.
Yeah, well, I'm just saying, there's a reason those people are still out there.
Marlon Mack.
He ain't getting no touches behind Jonathan Taylor, tailback.
Who's the second one? Naheem Rhymes is the second one? If you can handcuff someone.
Yeah, him, and there's another one. There's another guy up there.
In front of Mack?
Let me see.
What about Darius Slayton? Who the Giants?
I guess Darius Slayton has some potential here.
Pick, is he the second guy?
Oh, well, the ESPN has Marlon Mack as the second back, but the other guy I was thinking of was Jordan Wilkins.
Oh, well, so I have to take. He'll probably be gone by the time I get there. So my backs are Gibson, Henderson, Pollard, Gus Edwards, and Scott. I'm getting basically
Scott? LJ Scott?
No. What's his first name? B. Scott from Philadelphia, the backup behind Miles.
Mm-hmm.
So my two starters are Gibson and Henderson. I'm in the league with two wide receivers, 2 running backs, 1 tight end flex. So I got 4. I only really have 2 workhorse running backs, which is not good. But their bye is 9-11. There's no handcuff left for Gibson. I don't even know if the Rams have another running back other than Henderson.
I mean, they got to have somebody, right?
Somebody must have took him because he ain't listed.
Their depth chart is Xavier Jones is, I guess, the projected backup.
Somebody must have took him. Oh, there's no Jared McKinnon. That's not good.
The Rams' defense might not be that bad.
Yeah, but I can't take two defenses. Right?
No, I was just.
I'm gonna take Mac if he's there. One pick in front of me.
Craig says, "Why aren't you starting Pollard? He's going to have a breakout year." I would say because Pollard currently is not the starter.
What is wrong with him? Oh man, that is crazy. Yeah, no, I'm not going to do that. How many leagues you going to have this year, JT?
Me,
2?
6.
Oh, 6. Yeah. So,
yeah, that's why I said I'm trying to get down to 3.
I'd like to hear this. Me and you talked about it, but this would be something I'd like to get some comments on from people about the fantasy football leagues for college football fantasy. How many people really do that, and is it?
I know exactly 0 people who do this.
Well, it has to be a thing because it's out there. Because they got to be making some money if they offer it some kind of way, right? Because that's a lot of work, man, to put in. It ain't 300 schools. Because that's just Division 1. Well, I guess they're all Division 1, just smaller.
Marcus D. Jones says he has inside word from Henderson that his thumb is fine. It's just a slight sprain and won't affect him carrying the ball. I didn't even realize Henderson was hurt.
Yeah, I did see that. Thank you, Marcus. Marcus is going to be in our Teague's team league this year. Ask him to put his where we can find his podcast in the chat.
He can hear you.
Oh yeah, so make sure you put in there where we can find your podcast because they do a really good job with their show, especially if you're a Cowboy fan. It's really built for Cowboys. They do a whole lot more study than me. JT, I know you would really like what they do. I don't know if you actually heard them or not before of what they or how they talk, but they're pretty deep. They're analytical. No, they're way more than I do when it comes to statistical stuff, things of that nature. So, if you got that, we'll make sure we give you a little bit of tease right there because
sounds like I have to give them a few listens so I can see what I'm getting into, and then Marcus, you gotta invite me on the show. He says he forgot that he's in your league. Henderson is damaged goods. Don't draft him.
Oh yeah, he didn't put the information in there about his.
No, he hadn't.
It's the Cowboy Zone, is what it's called. I'm going to assume that you probably can look it up that way. I'm not sure if they got a website or not, but I know it's called the Cowboy Zone.
The Cowboy Zone every Wednesday, 8:30 Central Time on Facebook and YouTube.
Yes. You
got to remember that chat is like somewhere between 8 and 15 seconds behind
about
us.
15 seconds. Yeah, that's okay. Yeah, that's good. I'm glad I got it in. That's why I wanted to keep repeating it so he knew. But y'all check him out on the Cowboy Zone. Him and Lambeau are the two talks. So if you haven't seen Lambeau, I'll make sure I send you, JT, the clips of he has an alter ego. He calls himself Cowboy Dave or Dale. Cowboy Dale or Dave. I think it's Cowboy Dale. But he puts on his mullet and is come this crazy dude. It's actually kind of funny. But when they start talking football, it's really, really good stuff. They got a great following. Y'all should check it. They do great graphics. They got all kind of stuff going on. So it's really, really cool. If you're big into Cowboys and football talk, fantasy talk, and other things they cover, it's definitely worth taking a listen to on Wednesdays, 8 p.m. Central. Right? I think that
8:30 Central.
8:30 Central.
I also just put out a poll because people were asking for it, and since there's activity in the chat, I put out the poll about how many interceptions will Winston throw this year. The options are he ain't starting, 10 to 15, 15 to 20, and 20 plus.
Okay, so y'all make sure y'all click on those for us. That'd be very interesting because Ian Rappaport did come out and say today that it looked like Jameis Winston was going to be named the starter here pretty soon, or that he's by far leading the Cowboy race. I mean, the quarterback race with Taysom Hill. So I don't know if I'm a Jameis Winston hater or whatnot. I just think he throws
Mr. 30 for 30. He got his eyes fixed.
Yeah, whatever. Did you see the pass he threw this past game? It
It
was a touchdown.
The one to Marcus Callaway?
Yes.
Uh-huh.
Should he have thrown that ball?
I'll be honest. I wouldn't have thrown that ball. But I'm not an NFL quarterback.
Well, I guess he is. But still, that was a bad throw. Now, he caught it and you say it happened, but that's how things start to go sour for you, you know. I think that he's, if I had a way to fill out that poll, would you say 0 to 10, 10 to 20?
I said he's not starting 10 to 15, 15 to 20, or 20 plus.
I'm going the 15 to whatever that middle range was.
15 to 20? I think that is reasonable. Marcus says, okay, we got a couple comments. Marcus says he'll give him 20, at least one game and a few multi-pick games. I think that's fair. And Craig Young says, hide your crab legs because he will intercept those for sure.
Oh gosh!
And we have we have an endorsement for the Cowboy Zone from Elazar Mendoza, who also says that 10 to 15. I'm going to stick in the 10 to 15 range. Here's why. Because I think if he starts getting close to more than 15, they're just going to put Taysom Hill in and just say, forget it. I think he might not have the opportunity. Like, there's no way he throws more than 20 picks.
Throw, though. Taysom Hill. I mean,
I don't think Sean Payton allows him to throw more than 20 picks.
Why didn't they pick up another quarterback? For real. Why didn't they? Did they see something in Jameis Winston?
They must, I think they. Because you got to remember, they let Teddy Bridgewater go. And they were like, we have Taysom Hill and Jameis Winston, and we're fine.
Okay, I'm having all my ADD moments. Bridgewater going to be starting in.
I think it's going to be close.
Denver.
I think it's going to be
eventually.
Close. Eventually, yeah. I think eventually. If he doesn't start now, I think it'll be eventually.
Yeah, I'm with you on there, but I don't know the Saints. I don't know if your wife is down there listening to this, but do they go 500 this year? Do they win half?
They'll go 500 because
9-8.
Yeah, I think that's probably the floor. Because even when Jameis was playing for the Bucs, they were 9-7 teams then, and I think the Saints defense is good enough to win them a couple ball games.
But what about isn't there a little bit of inner turmoil going with whatever's happening with Michael Thomas? By the way, Lambeau.
Yeah, Michael Thomas
from the Cowboy Zone drafted Michael Thomas somewhere early in there.
I hope it works out for you, buddy. I really do. I don't know that I would have done it, but you're going to look like a genius if he comes back and just balls out. But
so they don't have him. You're going to have to ride Alvin Kamara. The tight end's gone. Cook, what we just talked about. The Tre'Quan Smith or whatever his name is.
They got a tight end. His name's Taysom Hill.
Okay. He ain't Cook. Maybe he is. I don't know what he is. Is he Tebow?
No. Did you see Tebow playing tight end?
Okay, good point. Sorry. Yeah, you're right. I don't know. Okay, so last thing before we go, who are you picking to win the NFC East?
It's the Cowboys' division to lose.
You ain't answered the question though.
The Cowboys.
Okay, I know. All right.
I think it's going to be closer than the experts think. but I think the Cowboys win the division.
Okay. What about North? We're staying on the NFC side. That's Green Bay, Minnesota.
The Packers will win it.
Okay. And then South.
South, that's the Cardinals, 49ers, Seahawks, and who am I missing? The Rams?
Rams.
How do you not pick the Seahawks? I don't see how that happens
over the Rams.
Yeah.
I'm just saying. I mean, I get you. DK Metcalf, you going with him?
I'm going with Russell Wilson.
Okay.
And Jamal Adams, I guess. I mean, their defense is not like super elite, but they're Craig Young says the Super Bowl will be Bucks and the Eagles. No shot the Eagles make the Super Bowl.
The Eagles?
Mark that down right now. There's no way Jalen Hurts and or Joe Flacco take the Eagles to the Super Bowl. That's not happening.
Oh, gosh. So let's go on the other side then, since he brought that up. You picking Tampa to win?
Well, you missed the division.
Oh, I did?
Yeah.
Who?
No, you actually said NFC South, and we did NFC North.
Oh, got it.
Or NFC West.
West.
The South.
West.
That's the Panthers.
Houston.
It's going to be the Bucks. The NFC South is going to be the Bucks, the Falcons, the Panthers, and the Saints. The Bucks are winning that division.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I keep going over that side. But yeah.
Craig's just being a homer. He said, I'm sorry, Pats and Eagles. So he's just picking Mac Jones and Jalen Hurts. Neither one of them going to Super Bowl. That's just
well, he could have picked Pittsburgh or something with Najee if we got I don't know. But anyway. So what about on that side then? And I don't know all of them by area or whatnot, but the
AFC South is the worst division. That's the Jags, Houston, the Titans, and the Colts.
So that's the Titans. Right?
Yeah, I got the Titans on that one. Like everybody else is just a mess.
All right. And
you got the AFC West, which is probably the hardest one. That's the Chiefs, the Broncos.
What's hard about that?
Chiefs, Broncos, Raiders.
It don't matter. It's the Chiefs, man.
Chiefs, Broncos, Raiders. Who's the other one? That don't matter. And then who we got? We got the AFC North, which is Steelers, Browns, Ravens.
That's the hardest one. Cleveland. You said the Browns, the Steelers. What'd you say? Ravens, black and blue.
Yeah, well, I can just look at this. Well, I don't even know why I'm entertaining this.
Checking your numbers.
Oh, the Chargers. The Chargers are in the AFC West. And then the AFC North is the Bengals, the Ravens, the Browns, and the Steelers.
The what? Bengals.
Yeah, the Bengals go in there with the Ravens, the Browns, and Steelers.
Yeah, they're out. That's why we couldn't think of them.
And then
Well, who are you taking in that one?
In the AFC North?
Yeah. Bengals. Browns,
no, it's
Ravens,
either oh man. My gut says the Browns.
Okay. What does that say over there? I can't read the.
We got the Cowboys, Vikings, Rams, Bucks from Elazar. Titans, Chiefs, Steelers, Bills. Those are the picked winners.
I'm definitely taking
Marcus is correcting me on the Chargers, so he's got me covered there.
Okay.
On the ones that I missed.
So I'm taking the Bills to be in the Super Bowl in the AFC.
Ew, okay.
And on the NFC side, I still ain't got enough guts to say the Cowboys are going to make it.
They're not going to make it.
There's no Packers. I'll say the Packers.
Okay.
Bills, Packers.
I don't hate either one of those picks. I'm rooting for the Bills. I really am. I'm rooting for the Bills. I think they're doing it right.
They're pretty good, man. I don't know if it's going to run into a problem because they can't run the ball or don't want to run the ball.
Yeah, that's where I feel like the problem is going to be. But it's just like somebody's got to get hot, right? It's got to be like they have to beat the Chiefs, which I think they can. But they're going to have to be, they're going to have to put up like 50 points, I think.
But the Bills' defense is pretty good. I think they got the nod over. Kansas City's defense is kind of sneaky good, but I think the Bills are a little bit more elite. Okay. Hey, JT, what do you think about it, man? And y'all make sure y'all look at this is really cool what you set up. I got to give JT a lot of props, about this, spending time making this look the way it looks. If you are listening to the podcast post show, man, you really need to come into to the live one. We got the chat actually on the screen where you can kind of see what people
which
are seeing.
The Facebook should be here. But we and Facebook, we have a struggle every week. Wow. And because remember we tested this. The people don't know that we tested this last night.
Yes.
And I did not test it on Facebook because Facebook doesn't allow me to run a test stream that's unlisted so that I can just play around with stuff and not have people looking at me while I do it.
Well, it's just amazing to me that you actually even know how to make all this stuff maneuver and work to this extent. So kudos to you. I think I gave you a cigar or something one time for all your hard work that you've done to make this podcast what it is today.
Uh-oh.
It's okay.
I was trying to hit the applause button, but apparently that didn't work. Oh, yes, it will. To me.
You got both of the, I like that. Well, make sure you put some kind of sound effect with my applause, a big whistle or something. I don't know. Anyway, anything else we need to cover, JT, before we sign off?
No. I think we're all good. I mean, I guess if you are listening to this on the podcast later on, we did not publish the podcast last week. We had some audio problems, and I didn't want to break your speakers because of the how loud it got at one point. So I just decided if you wanted to catch up, catch us on the replay on YouTube or Facebook or on Twitch, and you can catch up that way. That was his first week back from Minnesota, and we talked about the internship and whatnot. So I hate that we didn't get that one pushed out in podcast form, but
we'll redo it. We'll do a bonus. Talk about it a little bit, But anyway, man, great show, JT. Make sure you guys are following us for real. Tell your friends, tell your buddies about us. Hit us up.
There is one more thing. I forgot.
Okay.
So Craig has told us to keep him in our prayers. He was in a car wreck today, I believe.
Oh,
I think that's what he said. Yes, he was in a bad. Oh, I don't know if it was today, but he said he was in a bad wreck, and to remember him in our prayers.
Yeah, we will do that. We do appreciate that, Craig. And we appreciate you for always being in here. And I have not forgot about you. I do have your gift that I promised you. I will be mailing that to you so that you can support that. I'll make sure you have it before the Alabama-Miami game. So be on the lookout for that, but I'll let you know. I'll hit you up on social media. And again, you can find me on social media at Teague Football on Twitter and Instagram, Facebook, George Teague. You can find Teague's Take at Teague's Take on all of the channels. You can get JT at Bama
J13.
Bama J13.
We're just gonna do some live editing. I got bored, I guess.
Yeah, on Twitter. Yeah, we'll get this graphic up for you guys too soon. And he doesn't do Instagram. He doesn't really do Facebook.
Yeah, well, I don't even have Instagram. You can find my profile on Facebook, but don't expect anything from it.
What about the other people that like to do the Reddit? Do you guys communicate with that, or is that only a news source? Reddit?
Yeah, no, Reddit's for the links. That's more to get your news. That's not particularly a place that you interact with people.
Is he talking trash to me?
Yes, Elazar Mendoza is exactly talking trash to you. You are going down week 2.
Oh gosh, make sure you don't forget to ask me about week 2 in our.
Oh yeah. So is this a Yahoo league?
It is a Yahoo.
Because what we're gonna do?
Wait. Is it Yahoo? No, it's a sleeper league.
What does that mean?
Sleeper is
That's a place. That's a website.
Yeah, it's an app.
Oh.
There's a website. You would like it. Check it out. Sleeper.com, I think it is. Or something. Just do Sleeper fantasy. Pull it up. You'll see it. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, I think we need to take snapshots of like the scoreboard each week.
Okay.
And we can put that on the screen so people know. So Elazar, I hope you have written a check that you can cash, because you will be put on blast week 2 if you lose.
Yeah, I need to see what the name of his team is. I'll do that. But anyway, make sure you guys find us, look us up, chat with us, give us things to talk about. We're always hitting on the hottest things. The season's about to kick off in all football levels, so we're going to be heavy dose into that. But if there's other things that you want to be talking about, please make sure you're DMing us or reaching out to us, adding us.
Yeah, add me at Twitter if you got something that you want me to consider putting on the show. Let me know.
Mm-hmm. Let's get
at least
it done.
Know where to find me. At least on Twitter.
You just gave me a new name, Georgia.
Oh, you could see it as I was typing?
Yeah.
Oh, that's awkward. See all my typing mistakes.
Oh yeah, you had to go back a whole lot of times.
Yikes.
But anyway, he talking about I got you. All right, fellas. Thank you guys very much. We appreciate it. It's been a great time. We'll be back again next week, Tuesday, 8 p.m. Central Standard Time, live on, what are the 3 channels?
YouTube, Facebook, Twitch.
Yes. So make sure you tune in. Get some people out here with us. Get us interacting. We love it, man. Thank you guys. Until later.
Peace.